Okay, let me clear off this camera a little bit. I hope everybody is doing well today, and I know there's some of us who aren't doing so well. Um, there's a great spirit of confusion out right now. Okay, there's a great spirit of confusion out right now, and I need to talk to my people. I need to talk to my family. I really need to put a message out here, and I need to make sure that it's spoken gently, peaceably, calmly, with love, sternness. Okay, I'm telling you right now what my goal is with this particular talk. Um, I've been seeing a lot of pain in the land, and I know normally on this channel, if I'm not bringing forward news, current events, and tying them into the scriptures, I'm speaking on what the scriptures have to say as far as prophecy, and I'm speaking on how the devil is using distractions right now uh, within his power throughout the land right now to aid and abet in the world's populations to not focus on the things of the Most High. I often speak on the distractions because when we have so many options for entertainment, we have so many options for content that we can watch. So y'all have to realize that when I get up here and I use this channel, I'm very aware, I'm well aware of all of the different channels and content that is on YouTube alone. I'm very well aware that as soon as we log into YouTube, we're inundated with choices and suggestions on our feeds and on our threads that we might not even be focused on or trying to find, but they're recommended to us. And then being recommended to us, if they catch our eye, we watch it, and it's easy for us to get sucked down the YouTube rabbit hole and not focus on things that actually matter. I know for myself, I haven't even watched no NBA games, no football, but every time I log on to YouTube, they quick to put a football or NBA game highlight or something in front of my face. And I have to constantly hit those buttons. Don't recommend this channel. Don't do this. Don't do that. Because I know there are other forms of content out there that haven't crossed my algorithm that are just as important as the content that I call myself putting out. I need y'all to understand something though. This isn't about the content, okay? Not the quantity of content. That's not what my prerogative is. The quality of the content is what I'm focused on. The idea that I know from being a man of Israel and for walking this walk since 2007 that we only have a little bit of time as a people. We only have a little bit of time as a world community in order to rend our hearts, to get our minds right and focused on the things of the Most High. You know, when we have all of these options in front of us to watch this or watch that, those options come with pursuits of life. Those options come with distractions, you know, to want to achieve something based off of another thing that inspires us, something else that motivates us and helps take our minds off of our current state and condition is something that we have all been confronted with. We've all had to deal with this at one point or another. And we've all had to choose what it is we're going to ingest, what it is we're going to bring into ourselves in order to either grow, in order to be cultivated in the spirit, or to be taken away from the spirit, to be taken away from the pursuits that we should be focusing on in exchange for those things that are baseless. Now, I'm going to be saying some things that are very matter of fact. I'm going to be saying the things that have helped me and have helped me in such a way where I can see the value of my life now as clear as day. The things that have helped me where no matter how hard my life is, no matter how difficult the moment is, I know that there's a calling and a special force over my life that would keep me from harming others and keep me from harming myself. I have to tell y'all this. Over the course of the last day, starting since yesterday evening, I rarely get on Facebook these days, but when I do, The first thing that I saw and noticed about Facebook when I came back to Facebook, even for a short while, even to promote my album, even to catch people up with where I've been and what I've been doing, I noticed that logging back into Facebook is like buying cable, a cable subscription after not having cable for like 6 to 7 months. Have y'all ever done that before? You didn't have cable for like 6 or 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year, and then decide that you're finally going to go on and get cable again, or you're going to go ahead on and pay for that Amazon subscription again, or you're going to go on and start streaming cable again. And as soon as you start streaming it, as soon as you start buying cable again after years long of not having it, what's the first thing you notice? You notice all of the content is the same. It's rerun after rerun after rerun of the same television show that was on there a year ago when you stopped purchasing the cable. When you stopped watching TV a year ago, it was the same shows from then that's on there now. Just a bunch of replays, reruns, no new content. And if you do come across some new content, it totally is garbage. You like, what is this? You mean to tell me I'm paying for this package, this 150 channel package, and it's the same stuff? You go to History Channel, same documentaries, same episodes of Ancient Aliens. You go to the news, the same people on the news speaking in the same format, talking about the same things. It's the same structure. Weather and sports at the end, and all the distractionary news in the beginning of the broadcast. The same stories on Channel 5, okay? The same Young and the Restless, same soap operas, the same Peace, Brother Carlton King, Carlton Way, Brother King Carlton Way, the same Wheel of Fortune, all of the game shows, the same Price is Right, all of it the same. The same Monday Night Football, the same ESPN sports analyst, the same games, the same Seinfeld, the same Everybody That Love Raymond. All of the stuff is the same, right? And that's what happened on Facebook with me last night. I got on Facebook and it was all the same. The same, it's my birthday today post. The same, I'm buying this, or I'm doing this, or I got my new job today, or I'm on this, and or all of the little comic posts. Men ain't this, women ain't this. All this stuff is the same, right? But there was one post. There was one post last night that stuck out to me the most. And within that post, well, there were two posts that stuck out to me last night. Two, and I kind of feel like they have, in a strange way, they have something in common. The first post was talking about the blessing of children and how if a man doesn't want to bring forth children, he's not moving in the spirit of the Most High. The second post was talking about one of my Facebook friends was stating how he don't want to, things are rough for him right now. He don't want to live anymore. And he felt like he needed to take his life. Now, this is going to be, all of my videos are serious, but this is super serious because when we talk about prophecy, which is super serious, the thing is, prophecy is rolled out slowly over time. Prophecy is rolled out in such a way where you have an opportunity to see it from afar. Sitting back when someone says they want to harm themselves and take their lives, we only have so much time to address that before the individual either does or doesn't take their life. And when you really pay attention to an individual and you really are loving them and watching them, you can begin to see the signs if you pay attention. You know how we always say, oh, that individual cried out, but no one heard. That individual cried out, but nobody listened. And then the individual does the unthinkable and jumps off the ledge. And then everybody begins to remember the signs and the symptoms that that person was showcasing before they made the decision to take themselves out. And in a sense, suicide is prophetic as well. And this is what I'm talking about today. When I saw my Facebook friend put that post up there, out of all the posts that I saw on Facebook that were the same that I've ever seen before, it was that one post from that one gentleman, that one young brother, which made me stop in my tracks, made me stop cold in my tracks. And you know, the Most High is interesting like that because I was just about to log out the platform. I was just about to sign out. And as I did that last little scroll, you know how you do that last little scroll on Facebook just to see if anything had been refreshed on the thread? That's what I did. And I noticed that he had just posted that about 2 or 3 minutes before I was going to log out. It was at the top of my thread. One of the reasons that I knew I had to respond to our brother, and y'all don't know him, but I knew I had to respond to our brother is because he's a father, he's a papa. He's a girl dad. He has little girls. I know that he's not with their mother right now, but I know that he's the father of precious little girls, little daughters of Zion. I need y'all to please hear me. By the time I got to the post, there were only 3 care likes on the post. But you know what was powerful? The 3 care likes on that post was accompanied by 3 comments. Each person who cared for this brother on this post left a comment asking him to rethink himself, to rethink his actions, how much we and they loved him, just from being able to see what he has done this far in his life. This brother that I'm talking about is very talented. He has a certain ear when it comes to music production. And I know that he's not where he wants to be right now in life. I know he's not where he thought he would be in life at this age of his life. And because of that, the spirit of confusion has now developed and enveloped him. And I know that's one of the key reasons why he said what he said. I need y'all to stay with me on this one, okay? I thank everybody for joining today. A special shout out to my nephew. Neff, I got you. Right now, throughout the land, especially among our people, and I have to say it like this, there are reasons for everything that takes place under the sun. When you find yourself in a place where you feel like your back is to a corner and you feel as though the next few moments of your life don't matter, and you feel as though tomorrow or the promise of tomorrow holds no value, that's when you have to move to a place where you open up your ears and your mind, your eyes. In my experience, every time I've come to that place where I didn't know what the next moment was going to bring, where I had felt like my hope was diminishing, where I felt like my faith was waning. Shalom, Babarakata, Bashima Mashiach Yahushua. When I got to a place, I didn't know what the next moment was going to bring, y'all. The Most High always sent somebody to me. The Most High always sent somebody to me to speak me off the edge, off the ledge, to speak life to me. But no matter what words they said to me in that moment, I had to be shaken up and reminded of the value of my life and how precious my life is. And I'm reminding everybody who's battle worn right now, everybody who has been the fiery furnace of affliction, everybody who has been constantly tried day in and day out, who wants this thing to be over, who wants this thing to just stop, who felt like they've had enough. I need y'all to listen to me. As children of Israel, the Most High tells us in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 20, that Yahweh sends on you the curse, confusion, and the rebuke in all that you set your hand to do, until you are destroyed and until you perish quickly, because of the evil of your doings by which you have forsaken me. Now, some folks, some layman thinking folks will say, brother, why on earth would you say that? Why on earth wouldn't you whisper sweet things and tickle this person's ear and lie to them and tell them that everything is going to be okay? Why would you say that the Most High sent the spirit of confusion over us as a people and have cursed everything we put our hands to do? Why would you say that? Why would that be the first scripture that you choose to speak about? Well, the people who were placed into my path recently, who feel like giving up, who feel like giving in, they are the people of our blood. They are Israelite people. And I have to remind you all one special and important fact before I move on. The reason that our people are under such great confusion is because of our stance toward the Most High. The reason that we don't appear to be as successful as the other nations, and we're constantly comparing ourselves to what other people have that are not of our same ethnic background and cultural background, is because we had a special calling over our life. And when we refused that calling, we fell away from the protection, the love of the Most High, from the blessings of the Most High. And many of us today are sorting through how to deal with that right now. And when we don't know the reason for our confusion, and when we don't know the reason for why we have been so debilitated as a people, we can then wrongly go within ourselves to seek the answers that are actually listed in the Torah and the Tanakh in the Holy Scriptures as to why we're going through what we're going through. And if we can successfully identify why we're going through what we're going through, then as a people, we can successfully seek for the proper solution. And when we seek for purposefully look forward to a future where we'll be reestablished as a people. So that's why I have to preface this whole conversation with what's actually going on with us as a people. Because if I don't address that, and I get out here and I tell fabricated stories and lies, eventually those lies and fabrications will push people farther away from the truth. I have an opportunity using this platform to speak. And when we speak, I have another choice and a series of decisions to make about what I want to speak about. And if I'm continuing to speak and building up and feeding the distraction, then I'm missing out on an opportunity to speak life and love and to clear up the confusion and to clear away the distraction so that we can be made more whole. One thing that I know when we're confused like this is that we don't know if we have any meaning in the world. Our meaning to the world becomes clouded. Our meaning to the world, it becomes unrecognized to us. We don't see it. In the meantime, though, there's someone in our life, there are people in our lives who we mean the world to. When we're unable to find our meaning in the world, at that very same time, there is someone who is looking at us who we mean the world to. You know, I've thought about these types of messages a lot, and I've thought about the art of manipulation. And I've thought about how people can say things to act as balm in a moment, like a little patch that goes over a hole in a boat for a moment, but then the boat isn't feeling so strong. As soon as we patch up one hole, a leak begins to sprout up in another place. And many of us who are fed up with this life are like that boat. You know that old song, Row, Row, Row Your Boat, gently down the stream? Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Y'all know that song? It's more of a poem. I don't know if you realize, though, that the boat is the vessel that we are given in life. The boat is the body. The boat is the body. And the implication is when you're rowing your boat, there's someone inside of the boat to row it. The implication is as soon as I say row, row, row your boat, I'm sure you're seeing yourself in that boat. I'm sure you're seeing yourself on a gentle stream. Usually, when I see that picture in my mind, I'm on a gentle stream. I'm rowing the boat with two oars like this, and there's beautiful plants and flowers all around me, and I'm rowing gently down the stream. But I don't know if many people realize that the boat is your body that you were given in this physical realm. And the spirit, the soul, is what is rowing the boat. And we're asked to row gently down the stream because life isn't easy. A stream is a body of water. A stream is a body of water that moves gently. There are no raging streams. There are raging rivers. There are tumultuous waves in the ocean, but there are no raging streams. And the reason the body of water called a stream was chosen for that poem is because it induces a certain mindset in the individual who says the poem. It induces a certain imagination. A stream is to be moved down gently, calmly, but assertively. You want to do your best to stay in the middle of the stream as it winds and curves in life. And in a stream, one of the most beautiful things when we journey down a stream is that not only are we able to focus on the rowing itself, but we're also able to focus on our surroundings. We're able to take in the sights. That's very important in life because when we take in the sights and we're able to calmly roll down the waters of life, push ourselves, you know what taking in the sights does for us? Taking in the sights should allow us to do what? Count our blessings. And when we begin to count our blessings, one of the first blessings that we realize is even if life is hard, we realize that key word in that sentence of life is hard. Life, life. The fact that we have life is a blessing. The fact that we have the breath of life within us to even experience something that appears to be hard for us in the moment is the blessing. There's a saying, God gives his strongest battles to his strongest warriors. There's also another saying, everything happens for a reason. When we can realize that on this stream of life, that we are exactly where we need to be, that we are exactly where we need to be at any given time, then we can begin to count our blessings. We can begin to count our blessings. And when we count our blessings, we can see that everything we need has been given to us. When we count our blessings, we can see that we actually do have everything that we desire and everything that we need, whether we realize it or not. I'm going to read something. Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 9. Better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. Better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. When we can look and focus on what we do have, we can begin to count our blessings and be thankful and grateful for all things that we've received. When we close our eyes and we get to daydreaming about those things that we don't have, we begin to fall into a wandering of desire. And that desire eats away at us, day in and day out. We begin to desire things we don't necessarily have in front of us. We begin to want for things that we don't have in front of us. We begin to compare our lives to the lives of others. And when we do that, that's where a great vexation of spirit comes from, a great confusion of spirit. And the more we focus on our desires, things that we don't have, versus those things we desired and received, we can fall into a great snare and trap. One commonality that I've seen in all of us who have been pushed to the edge, one commonality that I've seen in all of us who is at our wits' end, is that we feel we're not where we're supposed to be in life. We feel like we haven't received everything that we were supposed to receive in life. We feel shortchanged. We feel like we're missing out on something. It's not until we can wake up and see. It's not until we can wake up and see that we are exactly where we need to be. It's not until we can remove our mind and our thinking away from a certain schism, away from a certain idea, that things begin to get clear for us and we can give gratitude and thanks for where we are. The book of Ecclesiastes is real strong because in that book it gives us insight into wisdom, into sound knowledge that can be applied and converted into wisdom so that we can make the most of our lives. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 18 tells us something too. Let's start at verse 17. All his days also he eateth in darkness, and he hath much sorrow and wrath with his sickness. Eating in darkness doesn't mean eating without electricity. Eating in darkness doesn't mean eating at nighttime. Eating in darkness means eating of all that life has to offer and not eating within the light of the Most High. Now, I'm not talking about the sunlight. I'm talking about the light of the word of truth. I'm talking about the light of truth. Consuming day after day, devoid of the very light that has brought you and manifested you into this realm, manifested us into this realm. When we are devoid of the light of the light of the light of the light of the Most High, we eat in sorrow. Our days become hard for us. Our days become sad. We're not able to see our value and our worth. And because we're not able to see our value and our worth, we get sick inside. We get sick inside. And it's a great sickness to eat in the darkness and being devoid of the light of the Most High. Verse 18 tells us that, behold, that which I have seen, it is good and comely for one to eat and to drink, and to enjoy the good of all his labor, that he taketh under the sun all the days of his life, which God giveth him, for it is his portion. You see, each one of us work daily, be provided for. We labor daily, whether it's working a 9 to 5, whether it's owning a business, whether it's creating a product and using our talent on the sidewalk, painting or singing, whether it's creating systems and products that can be used to learn and help others learn and grow in their different forms of acumen that they have applied themselves to over life, whether it's preaching and speaking the word of truth on the street corners, on the YouTubes and the Facebooks and Twitters of the world, to get the word of God out into the world. Each one of us have a special calling over our life. And each one of us has been given the opportunity to celebrate that calling day in and day out by being happy with what has been brought forth and cultivated through that work that we have been called to do. Verse 19 tells us that every man also to whom God hath given riches and wealth, and hath given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor, this is the gift of God. This is a gift of God because As we live our lives, you heard that saying, YOLO, you only live once. We only live in this life to experience everything that was destined for us to experience, and then we die. We leave this vessel. Our journey down the stream of life is complete. We exit out of our boat, and then we go to a place of rest until the day of judgment. Verse 20 of Ecclesiastes chapter 5, for he shall not much remember the days of his life, because God answereth him in the joy of his heart. As we live, we should be seeking out the will of the Most High. The divine will of the Most High will suggest to us that each one of us do indeed have a purpose in our lives. And that purpose should be filled with joy. And that joy comes when we begin to do what, y'all? Honor the law, statutes, and commands of the Most High, because in doing so, when we seek the kingdom, all things are added unto us. All things are added unto us. And the Most High knows what we need in our lives, just like the little birds of the trees know that they need to eat, they need to be covered, they need homes, they need nests. And the Most High provides all of the ingredients, all of the seed, all of the plants, all of the sticks, all of the leaves, everything that's needed for the bird to survive day in and day out. And just like that little bird, just like that little bird, just like that little bird, we are provided for as well. I brought up manipulation earlier because many of us are manipulated into things and ideas that we don't really want to be a part of. And it's only to the Spirit of the Most High awakens us out of that form of mental manipulation that we can start seeing the truth. I tell y'all often that I'm not here to convert anybody. I'm not here to coerce anybody. I'm here to provide the truth. And I often say that the truth hurts. A lot of times the truth ain't pretty at all because the truth reveals those dirty parts of our lives that we always seek to hide. The truth reveals the parts of us that we thought we can keep disclosed on our daily walks of life from those who would see us. As you walk through the world, however, and as you journey day to day, you have to begin to find meaning for your life. This is why each day is a gift. The present, the present, the present, the present is a gift. This is why it's called the present. I need y'all to hear me. I need y'all to please hear me. I don't take this lightly at all. Whether our brother or our sister or anybody on earth who is feeling like giving up, I don't take that lightly at all. Each child that has been born here is a gift from the Most High. Each child is a gift of the Most High. The Most High, though, tells us before I speak on children in Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. What does that mean? When we're oppressed as a people, we have all of the mental faculties and fortitude within us to do whatever it is has been placed on our hearts to do. But oppressive systems and oppressive entrapments stop us from moving forward. A wise man can be made mad because he is not able to maneuver around the oppressive nature of the system that he finds himself in. And because of that, the gifts that he has within him seem to not be working in his favor. So many folks are talented and gifted. So many folks are talented and blessed. And we can look from the outside in and see these folks and be like, bro, why did you do that? Sis, why did you take your life prematurely when you were so blessed and talented and gifted? You had everything in front of you. Why did you do that? Oftentimes that person wasn't feeling appreciated. Oftentimes that person who was blessed with the gift didn't identify the value of the gift themselves. And because they used the gift to the best of their propensity, to the best of their abilities at that time, they weren't aware that there was still more growth to take place. There was still more opportunity that was to be had in using that gift. But it wasn't time for that gift to be showcased to the world fully because the gift wasn't at its maximum of perfection yet. See, the devil is roaring like a lion right now, seeking whom he may devour. 1 Peter 5:8. And when the devil is going around seeking whom he may devour, it's not those who the devil has already tricked out of position. No, the devil is seeking those to devour who are on the fence, who are straddling the fence, those who are having the seed of confusion grow day in and day out within them and who don't know how to deal with the gifts that they've been given, the talents that they've been given. And the devil likes to creep in. And the devil likes to plant seeds of doubt on the mind of the individual whose confusion is growing day in and day out. And if we allow the devil to snare us and entrap us, sometimes it's very difficult to get out of that trap and that snare. When you feel the spirit of confusion over you, you have to rebuke it. Get out of my mind, spirit of confusion. Do not encroach my peace, spirit of confusion. Do not attempt to grow doubt in me, because I'm a child of the Most High. I already have a calling on my life, devil. And my calling has nothing to do with you. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 6, excuse me. Actually, let's go to verse 8 first. The gift is a precious stone in the eyes of him that hath it. Whithersoever it turneth, it prospereth. We just read in Ecclesiastes that oppression can cause a wise man in his gifts to feel angry some kind of way and to feel upset about not being able to use those gifts to the best of his ability, to the fullness of what those gifts actually entail. But each one of us is a blessing to this earth. Each one of us and the life we've been given is a gift. It's the ultimate gift for us to be able to experience in this place. Now, I'm not speaking from my own opinion. Verse 6 of Proverbs tells us that children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. Children's children, that means grandchildren. That means that someone had to have a child and make the decision to have a child so that they can grow and mature far enough to then have a child, so that that child can then grow far enough to have a child, and the legacy of bringing forth life continues. Life in itself is the glory of the Father. We are children of the Most High, and we are our Father's glory. Our Father in heaven has a glory as well. And it pained our Father in heaven to see us turn from his statutes and instructions for us in this life. And like any good father who loves us and cares for us, when we go wrong and we go in a way opposite of our Father, he seeks to correct us. He seeks to correct us and straighten us out. Ecclesiastes 6, verse 13 tells us, consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which he hath made crooked? The Most High is the one who straightens us out, puts us on a path back to him. But we have to have our ears and our minds open. We have to have our ears and our minds open so that we can receive a word of truth that will lead us back to a path of righteousness. Shalom, family. I'm seeing everybody here right now, and I thank you all for joining the live stream. I thank you all. I thank you all for participating in this live stream. You know, I'm going to read something from the book of Matthew. Matthew chapter 27. Matthew chapter 27, 3 and 8. This is after Yahshua Mashiach was binded and taken away to be crucified. This is after Judas Iscariot had collected the 30 shekels of silver. Then Judas, verse 3 of Matthew 27. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? See thou to that, meaning you got to deal with that yourself. And Judas, he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and hanged himself. And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful for to put them into the treasury because it is the price of blood. And they took counsel and bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, and they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field as the Lord appointed me. Judas was one of the disciples of the Most High, or one of the disciples of Yeshua, excuse me. And Judas betrayed Yeshua, sold him to Pilate, sold him to the priests and elders so that he would be crucified and hung. And when Judas realized what he had done, he was very sorrowful, and the scriptures tell us he repented himself. That means he was very sorrowful, and he realized the dastardly thing that he had done. He realized that he betrayed the innocent blood, is what the scriptures say. He then threw the pieces of silver down to the ground. He took himself out the game. He took himself out. The level of guilt over his life was so strong that he took himself out. Now, I have to say something. Some of us have such a level of guilt in our lives for different things that we've done that we feel like the only answer is taking ourselves out. I learned this lesson when I became a papa, though. And when you become a father and your children start acting up, or even if you're a child yourself and your father is in your life and he's a disciplinarian or someone who will correct you when you go off the path, and someone who will correct you and straighten you out when you're starting to be a little crooked, that sort of father, that sort of papa, that sort of man, he knows it's his responsibility to do the punishing, and it's his responsibility to do the disciplining, and it's his responsibility to do the correction. And as children, when we take matters into our own hands and we start wanting to correct ourselves through extreme forms of punishment and discipline ourselves, we're taking the job of the father away from him. And when we take the job of the father away from the father, any father who is serious about being a father is going to get upset with that. They're going to ask you why you thought you was the daddy, why you thought you was the father. The reason for that question is, as children, our sight is very limited. Oftentimes, we don't see as far out as our parents, as our father. And because we don't see as far out as our father, we can make decisions that are premature. We can make decisions that don't total or weigh out in accordance to the thing that we need to be disciplined on. Sometimes we can go too far in disciplining ourselves. Sometimes we don't do enough to discipline ourselves. But a father who's been paying attention, a father who loves you, a father who has lived a life long enough to become a father, has a certain way about handling disciplinary actions. But when the child takes actions of discipline into his or her own hands, it takes the job and task of disciplining, of disciplinary action, away from the father. As people, when we begin to feel so guilty about something that we've done, when we feel like the only answer of consequence that would rectify that guilt is taking ourselves out, is by harming ourselves, is by prematurely removing our lives from this vessel, we then take matters into our own hands. And the Father doesn't like that. Just like an earthly father would not like that and grow displeased in that, so does our Heavenly Father. The reason the Heavenly Father doesn't like that is because the gift of life was given by Him to us. We didn't create this life in ourselves. This life was a gift. This life was a gift and is a gift. And we didn't give ourselves this life. So how could we take our life? Let me go to Second Thessalonians chapter chapter 2. Let me go to Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 10. Let me go to verse 9. Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9. Even him who's coming after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. But we are bound to give thanks always to God for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because God hath from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth. That great spirit of delusion that is over the world right now, and over our people right now, causing us to believe the lies of Satan is very strong. The reason that many of us have that spirit of delusion over us is because we refuse the truth. We refuse to live in the truth. We refuse to see the power of the truth. And when we refuse to see the power of the truth, that gives the adversary, Hashatan, Satan, the ability to creep in and present the lie. I need my folks, my family, to realize something. When you don't think you're everywhere you need to be in life, that is exactly where you need to be in life. When your desires overtake you so much that you begin to daydream of being someplace else, and then you wake up from that daydream and realize you're not where you wanted to be, and because you're not where you want to be, grows a festering frustration inside of you, that is when you need to drop to your knees. You need to lift up your palms and give thanks for everything that is in front of you, everything that you have in that moment. You have to be covered in humility, and you have to recognize that you are exactly where you need to be in life, because where you are, you still have lessons that you need to learn. You need to realize that everything you want, if it is a good thing and it is of the Most High and is within the divine will of the Most High for you to receive, that thing is already yours. That thing that you desire is already yours. That thing that you wanted that was placed on your heart to receive is already yours. But when you don't have it yet, it's because there are still some lessons that you need to learn. And the lessons that you learn in the place where you are, not with the place where you're going to be, the lessons that you need to learn where you are going to be the very lessons that benefit you in the place where you are going to be with the thing that you desire, that you want. But if you don't recognize and learn the lesson where you are, when you get to where you think you want to be, you won't be, what's that word I want? What's that word I want? You won't have the necessary credentials to manage and caretake what it is that you always desired. It's a Q word. You won't be qualified. The lessons that you have before you are very important and integral to your growth. And the devil is going to try to trick you and tell you that those lessons don't matter. The devil is going to try to trick you and tell you that you don't need to learn those lessons. The devil is going to try to trick you and play you out of your position. The devil is going to try to trick you and get you to believe that you aren't valued, that you are worthless, that you're worthless because you don't have the things that you desire in this moment. The devil is going to try to trick you into thinking that you are devalued because everything placed onto your heart hasn't manifested into your life yet. So you must not be worthy of the things that you desire and want. But it is at that very moment that you have to realize that you have everything that you need in that moment to grow. Because the Satan comes with all power and signs and lying wonders. Many of the lying wonders and signs that the devil comes with comes in the form of the distractions that we see all around us that take our minds off of the word of truth. When our minds and our eyes are taken and diverted from the word of truth, y'all, that is at that very moment that the devil is allowed to creep in and keep you focused on whatever those lying wonders and signs from the devil are instead of the truth and the signs of the Most High. The devil comes with all deceivableness and unrighteousness. And it is that same deceivableness and unrighteousness that causes those of us who believe the lie to perish. Y'all, I'm not going to be able to come to you with a worldly answer to why you feel or don't feel a certain way. You know, there was a point in my life when I didn't know what the day was going to bring. There was a point in my life, too, when I was on the edge and I felt like my back was up against the wall. And I had a decision to make. I had a decision to make. Either I'm going to keep on getting pressed into this wall to the point of my destruction, or I'm going to fight out all of my power and all of my might. And I'm going to keep on fighting until I'm not in that corner anymore. It was at that moment that I will not give up. I will not give in. I was born a champion. I was made to win. That's when that saying and that rhyme came to me. And I've never forgotten it. A day in my life. In my move, I found it again. That original piece of paper where I wrote that statement down the day that I was backed into a corner. And the day that I didn't feel like anything was happening in my life. When I didn't feel like nothing was shaking in my life, y'all. I had all these gifts, all these talents, but it seemed like I was being stopped. It seemed like I had blockages in my life. It seemed like nothing was working out for me. It seemed like everything that I put my hands to wasn't working. Everything seemed to be in vain, no matter what I would do. And it was on that fateful day that I realized that my decision, I was either going to give up and give in, or I was not going to give up and I was not going to give in. And see, many of us have a curiosity. When we apply that curiosity to things that don't belong to us, that's what that saying, curiosity killed the cat. But when we can take that curiosity and apply it to what is before our very eyes, the gifts and talents that we have, we can continue to nurture those gifts and talents. And that curiosity diverts itself away from those things that are not for us toward the things that are for us. And that curiosity, I need y'all to hear me, that curiosity will grow and make us curious for what's happening in the next moment of our life, the next minute, the next second, the next hour, the next day. know what the next 5 seconds is going to bring. We just hope that the next 5 seconds is going to benefit us in some way. We just hope that the next 5 seconds is going to add up and do something for us that will bring us closer to whatever goals we have placed on our heart. When we have a love of the truth in our life, y'all, that's when we can be positioned for the salvation of the Most High. This is a battle we have to fight every day. This is a battle we have to fight every day. And when we can recognize that God, the Most High, gives his strongest battles to his strongest warriors, that should let you know right there that when you're going through something difficult in life, when you're going through something that doesn't seem to be natural, not supernatural, when you're going through something difficult in life that others don't appear to be going through, that others aren't talking about, that you don't hear others complaining about, that's when you have to realize that you have a calling on your life and you've been given the strength to endure through that tough battle. That's where battle worn comes from. Because we know that we have to keep on going. We know that we have to keep on fighting. Isaiah chapter 48, verse 10 tells us that we'll be tried in the furnace of affliction, that the children of Jacob will be tried as silver in the furnace. Let's get it. All praises to the Most High. I need y'all to hear this. The book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 10. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. For my own sake, even for my own sake, will I do it. For how should my name be polluted? And I will not give my glory unto another. Remember, children are the glory of the Father. Remember what we read in Proverbs? Children are the glory of the Father. The Most High loves us. The Most High loves his children. The children of Israel are his children. And the Most High said that no matter what happened in the chastisement that we received, no matter what spirit of confusion was placed on us as a form of chastisement to correct us, that he would not give his glory unto another. And remember, the glory of the Most High is his children. The glory of the Father is his children. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction for my own sake, even for my own sake will I do it. For how should my name be polluted? And I will not give my glory unto another. Who is the glory of the Most High? The children of Jacob, the children of Israel. Hearken unto me, O Jacob, and Israel, my called. Hearken unto me, O Jacob, and Israel, my called. I am he. I am the first. I am also the last. My hand also hath laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand hath spanned the heavens. When I called unto them, they stand up together. Everything we are going through right now as a people is for us to be tried in the furnace of affliction. So that when we are brought out of that trial, we are like the fine gold before the Most High. Psalm chapter 127, verse 3 tells us something. Lo, children are an heritage of the Most High, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with enemies in the gate. Children are an heritage of the Most High, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. I need you to know how valuable you are, men of Israel, women of Israel. I need you to realize how valuable you are in this very peculiar time that we're in. When we can rightly divide the word of truth and we can fit ourselves into the timeline of the scriptural narrative and we can see who we are as a people, we can see what our callings were as a people, we can then see what happened to us when we fell back and away from that calling. Then, when we can see the consequences of the falling back, and then we could see the rewards of coming back to the calling, and what will happen once we begin that walk with the Most High in truth and in righteousness, then we can begin to see that our lives are no mistake. Yes, many of us weren't raised with our parents. Many of us feel like because of that we aren't loved. Many of us feel like we were a burden to those who were placed as our guardians. Many of us feel like as soon as we turned 18 years old, that was it. Get out of my house. We felt the lack of love from the individuals who had been presenting themselves as our guardians and caretakers up to the time when we were 18. Then, when we were pushed out of the house, we realized that what we thought we knew wasn't everything that we needed to know in order to really thrive in this place. So we felt got over on, we felt abandoned. And that abandonment, it can be very crucial in the lives of many, excuse me. That abandonment isn't something that we need to take lightly. But what we need to realize is that we have never been abandoned fully. Each step of the way was made and instituted to strengthen our walk with the Most High. The Most High tells us not to make the trust of man our arm. Do not trust in man, but to trust in the Most High. Not to trust in man, but to trust in the Most High. Not to trust in the arm of man, but to trust in the everlasting arm of the Most High. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy out here when we feel like we're all alone and when we feel like nobody loves us and cares for us. It's not easy feeling like we don't have any meaning in this world. It's not easy. The Most High tells us in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 5. Thus saith the Most High, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Most High. For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness in a salt land and not inhabited. You see, I need all my folks to hear me. When we trust in man and make man our flesh, when we make man's flesh our trust, when we make the trust in man our key point in life, we immediately set ourselves up for failure because man will fail us. Man will fail us. Man will doubt us. Man will give up on us. Man will turn his back to us. Man will set us up. Man will manipulate us. Man will make us feel special. Man will tickle our ears. Man will whisper sweet nothings to us. Man will build us up to break us and tear us down. When we start leaning on other men, our hearts depart from the Most High. When we start trusting in what man has to do for us, we don't realize that everything that man has is because of the Most High. And when we fail to go to the source, trust in those who are sourced by the source, that's a great mistake because man has bias. Man has bias. And because of the biased hearts of men, that biasness could cause great pain in those who trust in it. The man who trusts in man is cursed because his heart departs from the Most High. When our hearts depart from the Most High, that means we're not seeking out the will and the ways of the Most High. And when we're not seeking out the wills and the way of the Most High, we're not seeking to do the righteous and just commandments and statutes and instructions of the Most High. And when we don't seek to do those things that the Most High has decreed for us to do, once again, that is when we give way for the devil to creep in and to manipulate and to sabotage our lives. When we depart from the Most High in our hearts, we're like a plant in the desert that has no water. We're likened unto something in a dry place that is scorched with heat, that is parched, because there's nothing to drink, there's nothing to sustain us. But the Most High tells us in Jeremiah 17, verse 7, blessed is the man that trusteth in the Most High, whose hope the Most High is. He shall be as a tree planted by the waters, and that spreadeth out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat cometh, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. You see, when we trust in the Most High and we make the Most High our trust and our hope, we're like a tree who's planted by fresh streams of water, who is always sustained, who's always nourished, who always has something to drink, even when there's a drought. The scriptures just told us that even when there's a drought, that drought would not reach to that tree who is planted by the cool streams of water. You see? And we have to be like those trees planted by the streams of water in coolness. We have to be like those trees who are planted and sustained by the strong sources of nutrients. Because the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? But the Most High searches the heart. Verses 9 and 10. The Most High search the heart and tries the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. Look, y'all, I want to ask you something. When you're feeling down and when you're feeling low, I want you to remember that if you as low as you can go and feeling as down as you can be, you can't go no lower. And when you as down and as low as you should be, as you can be, that is the exact moment when you look up. And when you look up, you should be looking toward the Most High. Make the Most High your hope in this day. We are living in a day of great delusion and confusion because all of the souls that the devil seeks to devour are before him every day. Those same souls have an opportunity, though, to be separated and removed from the reaches and throes and the grasp of the devil. But it's just like that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Each one of us have a responsibility back to the Most High to want to drink up the water of life. Each one of us have a responsibility to open our mouths and to drink that which has been provided to us so that we can live. If we like this and we keep our lips closed, we will not receive the nutrients of the word. We will not receive the nutrients of the spirit of the Most High. We will not receive the nutrients of life that we need to carry on and push forward. There are so many things happening in the world right now which would seek to throw us off and destroy us. And that is why I always preface these discussions. Yes, it is deep. But that's why I do my best not to waste our time here with frivolous things. Because a lot of us are feeling the pain of life right now. A lot of us have forgotten the promises that were decreed to us should we live a pious and righteous and upright life. And these distractions of life can be overwhelming. Seeing all these people flexing, seeing all these people spending money, not knowing they don't really have the money to spend, seeing all these people purchase all of these material items that don't avail to anything, that don't add up to anything. A temporary joy and a temporary happiness in exchange for an everlasting joy and happiness. And if we're not careful as people, we can allow temporal things to overshadow what it is we should really be focusing on, y'all. So your bro True Jew is asking you to take another chance, to take another chance to live another day, to be grateful in this day that you've been given, to count your blessings, to recognize the boat that you're rowing in, and to recognize that the stream is not a raging rapid. The saying isn't row, row, row your boat gently down the raging rapids. The saying is row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. The stream of life is to be appreciated. The stream of life is to be nurtured, to be looked at in awe and appreciation that you can even have this life to see. If you find that your life is hard right now, give thanks for your life. If you find that your life is difficult right now, give thanks for the level that you are on. You have been graduated to a new level of difficulty because you have already passed previous tests that were less difficult. Anytime you play a video game and there's levels to the video game, that video game doesn't get easier. The video game doesn't get easier, it gets harder and harder and harder until you beat the game. And once you beat the game, you can you can celebrate, you can whoo, that was hard. But you always have that joy and that celebration and the ability to now say, I beat the game. But you know when you turn that game on, from level 1 to level 30. Each level increases in difficulty. And just as in the game, in life, when you pass one test, you must be aware and be knowing there's going to be another test that comes right after it. There's going to be another opportunity for a lesson right after the last one you just passed. That's the nature of life. Life is structured in such a way where when we are given a test, that test comes after the lesson. And if you were paying attention to your studies, you will be able to carry forward through that lesson. And once you are presented with the test, pass the test. But it does not mean that once you pass that particular test, that you are to forget the lessons that you learned at that moment. You are to carry on the previous lesson into the new lesson and add on to it because there's going to be a new test that oftentimes requires you to reach into your bag of learned lessons, to reach into your bag of tools and resources, all that you have at your disposal in order to pass the new test. Each new level, there's going to be a new devil. Just like each new level in that video game, there's a new boss that you have to defeat, that you have to overcome. And the point of the game is to learn all of these lessons so that when you get to the final stage, you can beat the big boss. You can have victory over the big boss, and then the game is won. The devil is going to be your greatest adversary in life. And each level you pass is going to come with a new set of demons, little bosses that you have to overcome and fight. You have to fight and overcome, excuse me. But the whole time, the Most High is guiding you through. And when you seek the truth of the Most High, that is like when you're, I don't know if any of y'all played Zelda or Link before, any RPG game like Mario, where throughout each level you get a leaf, you get a whistle, you get a raccoon suit, you get a frog suit, you get a new sword, you get some treasure, you get a heart, something to help you along the way so that you can defeat the enemy when you confront it. So that's what the word of truth is. The word of truth is your tool, it's your resource. It's what you add unto yourself during the journey of life so that when you're confronted with those demons, those devils, even the big boss, the Hashatan, you're confronted with all of these different beings who want to stop you, who want to knock you down, who want to discourage you, who want to take you away and trick you out of position. That's when you reach into your bag of tricks. That's when you reach into the bag of truth and you whip those tools out in front of the enemy. You whip those things out. And when you whip those things out, oh my. That's when the enemy begins to get pushed back. That's when the enemy begins to flee. That's when the enemy is pushed into a corner. That's when the enemy begins to get discouraged because the enemy now sees that it cannot phase you. When the enemy can't phase you and the enemy can't knock you and the enemy can't destroy you, that's when the enemy gets discouraged. The enemy is coming with lies, deceit, all sorts of wondrous doodads and trinkets to distract you from your own power as a prince or princess of the power. You are a child of the Most High. You are the glory of the Most High. And if you forget this, well, then you are going to be pushed farther and farther away from the kingdom. And the farther away from the kingdom you are, the more chance you have for the hyenas and the Uncle Scars to get you. Remember when Simba was a cub? His father told him, don't go to the valley of dry bones. Every place the light touches is yours. But when Simba went to that valley of dry bones, to the elephant graveyard, what happened? He was out of the sight of his father. He was in the places of darkness that he shouldn't have been. And when he was in the places of darkness that he shouldn't have been, that's when he was food or potential food for the hyenas. Okay? That's when he was potential food for the demons. And his father had to find him and come save him. Even at that moment, when he felt backed into a corner and those hyenas were laughing all around him and getting ready to eat him, he still had hope because his father had not abandoned him. He still had a form of bravery in his little tiny lion growl. Ow! Oh, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. And then that fourth time he growled. And his dad was there. And the hyenas got afraid. You see, that little growl was a sign of Simba's hope. That little tiny growl, that little tiny growl was just enough for his father to hear him and realize where he was in the elephant graveyard to save him. It was that fourth growl, that mighty growl of the king that came and fighting off all of the demons and all of those nasty creatures that tried to kill Simba. In the same way, as long as we keep our hope, and our hope is in the Most High, our hope is like Simba's growl, growl, growl. Our hope is the word of truth, growl, growl. It might not be as strong and as mighty as the Father's, but when we growl, when we fight back in the truth, growl, when we begin to fight back, that lets the Most High know where we are. And that lets the Most High see that we are trying to allow that little light that was given to us to shine as brightly as possible. And that little light goes off as a beacon. And when that little light goes off as a beacon, the Most High can see where we are. And when the Most High can see that where we are is a place of danger, that's when the Most High comes and saves the day. But when we don't growl and we don't cleave the truth and we don't allow that little light to shine, we allow that little light to flicker and be put out, the devil will have a victory. The devil will be able to overtake us. So we must not give in to the throes of the devil. We must allow that light to shine forth, no matter how little it is, and to keep on fighting. Remember, I will not give up. I will not give in. I was born a champion. I was made to win. You are a precious soul, young daughter of Zion. You are a precious soul, young prince of the power. Do not get tricked out of your position. Do not get tricked out of your position. If you allow the devil to deceive you and trick you out of your position, there is no repentance for you once you have prematurely disciplined yourself and taken yourself out the way. There is no repentance for you if you do like Judas and hang yourself due to a series of guilt that you feel. That is all part of your testing. That is all part of the destiny and calling over your life. If you take yourself out prematurely, you will be taking yourself away from the blessings of later today. You will be taking yourself from the blessings of tomorrow. We don't know what the Most High has in store for us at any given time. But when we can live in gratitude and thanks for the moment, we can showcase to the Most High that we are appreciative of the life, of the breath of life that is within us. And when we show appreciation for the life that we do have, we can cultivate and continue to grow that life and be made to receive more and more blessings. But we have to first show gratitude for the little that we have. And our little is actually quite a lot. Like I said earlier, we can say life is hard and focus on the hardness and totally forget that for us to even be able to experience the hardness means that we have to have life in the first place. So instead of focusing on the hardness, we can be grateful and thankful for the hardness. Thankful that we were chosen to live life at such a level where it seemed to be hard to us in that moment. And as long as we trust in the Most High, we can overcome that hardness and have victory over it. So look, it's your brother True Jude. I thank the family for joining me today. I don't know who exactly is going to come across this message in the future, but my message to you is this. Please give thanks. Open up your eyes, not to the things you don't have, but open up your eyes to everything you do have. Open up your eyes to the abilities that you have, to the function of your body, to all of your faculties. Open up your eyes to the mind that you were given. Open up your eyes to the truth that you see. Open up your mind to the blessings that you do have in your life. Please don't give up. Please don't give in. Recognize even though it's difficult for you to see your meaning in the world, you mean the world to somebody. Your absence from this life will cause great pain for those who love you. When we pass away, those who love us have great pain that they feel because we have transitioned. When we take our lives out prematurely ourselves from our own hands, that pain is also multiplied. And it's often multiplied in confusion because those of us who are left to have to deal with your passing, your taking yourself out, we're the ones who have to try to make sense of why you didn't value your life, why you didn't see your blessings, why you didn't see the gift that you had. And see, when our vision is cloudy and our vision isn't clear, that's a tool that the devil uses to keep us in confusion, the adversary of the Most High. It's only when we can wipe our eyes and clear our faces from confusion that we're able to see the value of our lives for real. And you are the glory of the Most High. The Most High is happy to call you his child. You have to remember everything that we're dealing with, though, in this life is a test. And many of us are being tried in the furnace of affliction. Affliction is not a fun thing. Affliction hurts. Affliction is filled with torment and pain at times. Affliction is filled with a question of why do I have to be afflicted? Why do I have to feel this? Why do I have to go through this? But it's all to make you stronger and to make you better. And when your hope is in the Most High and not in other men, not in yourself, you can see the truth of that statement because the Most High is the one who put you through that testing in order to try you and bring you out like fine gold. Even gold could talk to you. And you had that gold necklace or that gold um, piece of jewelry, and you have the raw gold from the rock of gold, nugget. It had to be heated. It had to be heated before it could be formed into that desirable piece of gold jewelry. If the gold could cry out to you, it might say, "Please don't put me in the furnace. Please don't put me in this heat. It's going to be so hot. What are you doing to me?" And then it gets pushed into the heat anyway because the maker, the former, the molder of that gold knows that it wants to turn it into a sparkly, shiny piece of jewelry that's going to be very desirable. But the gold doesn't know this yet. So the gold gets put into the fire and it gets heated up hotter and hotter and hotter. And it's feeling the heat and it's being beat down upon by a hammer. And it's being molded and formed while still hot. And then it's molded into this design. And the design is taken from the heat and it's cooled down. And then when it's cooled down, it's buffed out, it's burnished. And once it's buffed out and polished up, it's taken from this form of a raw, rough stone into this beautiful, shiny, and polished and desirable piece of jewelry that everyone in the world wishes they can have unto themselves. And that is who you are. Once you be brought out of the trial, the furnace of affliction, once you have passed all your trials, and you have passed all your testings, that is when you receive your triumphs. That's where your celebration comes from. Now you are that desirable thing that everyone wants to be around. Now you are that desirable thing that everybody wants unto themselves. But all of the glory goes to the Most High. Now you are that shiny, desirous piece of jewelry, desirable piece of jewelry. You didn't even know what you were being fashioned into. But if you take yourself out prematurely, you'll never see the day you are that beautiful piece of fine gold. You'll never see that day. So I'm asking you to consider everything before you take yourself out. I'm asking you not to take yourself out and allow the Most High to work a wondrous work in you. I'm asking you to be patient, to be long suffering, to exhibit the fruits of the Spirit of the Most High, meekness, humility, temperance, joy, gladness, long suffering. Exhibit these things, exhibit these qualities of life so that you can be brought into the kingdom of the Most High. I think it's important that I say what I'm saying right now in the place that I'm saying it. You've noticed that all around me, it's gotten darker. It's early still, and it's getting colder where I am right now because winter is coming. Even though it's fall time, it's getting cold. And you see, it went from light to darkness. And now I'm speaking to you from the darkness. But it is only dark because the sun has gone into the horizon. But the light is still shining forth brightly. The light of truth, the light of love, the light of the Spirit of the Most High, the light of the Word is still present. And I'm asking you, if you've doubted that stronghold over your life, if you've doubted the abilities of the Most High to bring you out of a situation that you had almost given up on, please don't. Please allow the Father time to work all that needs to be worked. It's something I need to say. You want to be someplace in life, right? You want to be someplace. There's a location you want to be. There's a destination you want to be. There's something you want. There's something that you desire, right? But you haven't received it yet. You haven't been brought to that location where you want to be in life. And you're exactly where you need to be right now in your life, but you don't see it that way, right? Let me tell you something. If you endure and you stay patient filled, I gotta tell you this. Let me tell you something. That place where you want to be, that thing that you want, is being prepared for you right now. You might not realize it, you might not know it, but it's being prepared for you right now. That place, that home, that location is being prepared for you right now. It's just not ready yet. It's just not ready yet. That thing that you want, you might with a certain vehicle right now, and you're giving up on life and you're doubting yourself. For yes, even though it's material, it's a piece of material that you want. It's something that you feel will make you happy. That will give you the joy to keep on pushing forward. But this is the thing: you want that new car, and all you're focused on is the car. Forgetting that that car takes insurance, that car takes upkeep, that car takes a lot of gasoline. It takes oil changes, and the car that you might want right now, even though you want the car, it might be close to getting it. You haven't gotten it yet because you still need to build up the funds that you're going to need to maintain the car, that you're going to need to keep gas in the car. Okay? You might not be in a place that's suitable to park the car that you really want and will receive one day because that place is a place that will steal and take pieces from the car, that will jack the car from you, that will remove the value of the car from you. And so, therefore, you haven't received it yet. You're not in the place where you desire to be because somebody else is living in that place right now. or that place is still being constructed on. It's still being built up so that it can become suitable for your presence in it one day. What you have to do is count your blessings where you are. What you have to do is focus on what you do have. Count all of the goodness that is before you now, starting with your life, starting with the breath of life, starting with the food you was able to eat today, starting with the love that is all around you today, starting with the joy of breathing today, starting with the goodness of the environment that you are in, the leaves, the trees, the breeze, the sunlight, the clouds, the ground, the soil. You must count your blessings. And in counting your blessings, you will have another day of patience and another day where you can endure. All right? I hope that you hear me, family. I hope that you hear me. You recognize that you are loved, that your life does have meaning, that you do have a purpose here, and that your light is valued, and that two or more lights together does not dim light, but makes light brighter. Pray without ceasing, family. Give yourself a shot. Give yourself a chance to be blessed. You have your desires and dreams fulfilled before you, but don't allow those dreams and desires to confound you, meaning put you in a place of deep regret and deep despair and confusion. Don't do that. Be joyful in this life. Celebrate your life today. Find a way to appreciate what you do have. Don't depreciate your life. Appreciate it and allow it to grow in value. I promise you the Most High loves you. I promise you the Most High has a special purpose for your life, a special calling in your life. I promise. Look, it's your brother True Jew tapping in with you the only way I know how. Raw, real, and uncut. In this moment, I pray that one thing I said touches your heart and backs you away from that ledge. One thing could have been said through me this evening, this day, causes you to put that rope down, that noose down, that string down, that poison down, that gun down, that blade down, alcohol down, whatever it is, potentially take you out. I pray you put it down. The devil has no power over your life. Satan has no power over your life. You have eternal life before you. All the power of the Most High is covering you, enveloping you. You are not alone. The Most High is holding you and guiding you. You will recognize this. You will see it. And when you see it, shout and sing songs of praise. You are needed today. Be a help to someone on your walk today, and you will see just how much you are appreciated. Help someone who is not able to help themselves, and you will see just how valuable you are. Because there's something you can do that someone else cannot do. That's what help is all about. Help is standing in for an individual or a group of individuals when they or that individual cannot do for themselves what you can do. And there's something that you can do that someone else cannot do. And I pray that you are led to the person who cannot do what you can. And I pray that you find and are led to that person. And when you are led to that person, window of opportunity is extended to you to showcase all that you can do and that you do for that person with love and kindness and gentleness. And when you do it, that goal is achieved, that thing is achieved, and you are made to see your value again. And you can reevaluate your stance in this walk. True Jew tapping in with you. The only way I know how. Raw, real, and uncut. I love you to life always. Please remember that. Stay blessed and stay vigilant because the devil is roaring like a lion seeking whom he may devour. but the Most High is covering and protecting those who trust in Him. I love you to life always. I love you to life always. Most High, Mama and Papa will not be back with another one, but until then, go.